wish everybody a happy new year. This is our first official meeting of the new year. So with that, roll call, please.
Dunstan here.
Grillo here.
Lorick here. Bukevich here.
Guzikowski here.
Correll here.
Seifert here.
Chandler here.
Thank you. Approval of minutes, and actually we have two sets to go through, and I believe, we'll take them separately. And please look over the minutes from November and December.
Mayor Dan, if I can just interject, the reason that we have two sets, we did have a motion for approval and a vote for approval at the December meeting. However, it turns out that the wrong date was stated in the motion. So this is a clarification for the November minutes. And then the December minutes are for your first approval.
Seifert moves to approve the minutes of November 28th, 2017.
Guzikowski will second.
Roll call.
Dunstan, aye.
Grillo aye.
Lorick, aye.
Bukevich, aye.
Guzikowski, aye.
Correll, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler aye.
And then we have the minutes for December the 12th.
Seifert moves to approve the minutes of the December 12, 2017 minutes.
Chandler seconds.
Roll call.
Dunstan, aye.
Grillo aye.
Lorick, aye.
Bukevich, aye.
Guzikowski, aye.
Correll, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler aye.
All right. With that, significant common council actions. Carrie?
Council approved the following: resolution regarding industrial development revenue bond financing for Marquette 13 LLC and Tower 13 LLC. A resolution authorizing amendments to 2.2 million City of Oak Creek, Wisconsin Industrial Development Revenue Bonds Series 2014 Howell Avenue Oak Creek LLC project issued on February 27, 2014. An ordinance to rezone the properties at 7705, 7751, and 7831 South 13th Street from RS3 Single Family Residential to B4 Highway Business. A resolution approving a certified survey map for John Thompson Summerstone LLC for the properties at 7705, 7725, 7751, 7831, and 7869 South 13th Street. An ordinance amending section 17.1402 of the municipal code to include the definition of a beauty shop. An ordinance to repeal and recreate section 17.03170 sub G1 of the municipal code to reduce the minimum setback from 30 feet to 25 feet from the right-of-way of all public streets in the LM1 Limited Manufacturing District. It's actually supposed to be Light Manufacturing District. And a resolution approving a certified survey map for Bradley Schmidt for the property at 810 East Oakwood Road. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Carrie. Item 5A in public hearings, comprehensive plan amendment. We're going to hold a public hearing on a proposed amendment to the 2020 Vision Comprehensive Plan for the City of Oak Creek that would update the planned land use category in MAP 2 in the comprehensive plan from planned industrial to planned mixed use for the properties at 410 and 500 West Drexel Avenue. There will be no change to the resource protected areas. Carrie?
I'll read the official notice into the record. Official notice of the public hearing before the Oak Creek Plan Commission. The purpose of this public hearing is to consider an amendment to the 2020 Vision, a comprehensive plan for the City of Oak Creek, as it relates to the properties at 410 and 500 West Drexel Avenue. The hearing date is Tuesday, January 9, 2018. Time 6 p.m. at the Oak Creek City Hall, 8040 South 6th Street, Oak Creek, Wisconsin 53154 in the Common Council Chambers. The proposed amendment would update the planned land use category in MAP 2 in the comprehensive plan from planned industrial to planned mixed use for the properties at 410 and 500 West Drexel Avenue with no change to the resource protection areas. The Plan Commission may schedule other public meeting items or public hearings for January 9, 2018. This hearing may begin at 6 p.m. or as soon as possible following the conclusion of any other public meeting items or public hearings. Any persons with questions regarding the proposed changes may call the Department of Community Development during regular business hours. The date of the notice is November 29th, 2017. City of Oak Creek Plan Commission by Mayor Dan J. Bukevich. The proposal is to change the comprehensive plan amendment as was stated from planned industrial to planned mixed use. The two areas, the two parcels affected are in red on the screen. In fact, I will zoom in so you can get a better idea of which properties those are. They're right on the northeast corner of 6th and Drexel. They are currently developed, and this would be prior to redevelopment of those properties. There would be no change to the resource protection areas. That includes the green area, which shows wetlands, and the floodway and floodplain areas. The future commercial service and development plans for the properties would also include rezoning to B4 highway business at a later date, should the comprehensive plan be changed. Planned mixed use allows for the comprehensive development that could include professional office, residential, and commercial uses. It's anticipated that additional parcels in the area will need to be updated for mixed use development or redevelopment in the near future. So there will be other opportunities for the Plan Commission to review additional properties for the comprehensive plan change, as well as rezoning for redevelopment in the area. The state of Wisconsin's smart growth law requires that all local land use decisions after January 1st, 2010 be consistent with the objectives, goals, and policies contained within the comprehensive plan. Approval of these changes to the comprehensive plan would bring the comprehensive plan in line with the intent and goals for future development of the properties. Should the Plan Commission feel that the proposed comprehensive plan amendment is something that we should move forward with, there is a suggested motion that the Plan Commission adopts Resolution 2018-01, amending the comprehensive plan and land use map to reflect the changes in land use from planned industrial to planned mixed use for the properties at 410 and 500 West Drexel Avenue, following review and adoption by the Common Council. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Carrie. As Carrie stated, it is a public hearing. We will make 3 calls. Anybody wishing to speak, please approach the podium, give your name and address. First call. Second call. Third and final call. We'll now close the public hearing and move on to new business, and that is 6A, and that is consideration of the plan amendment. I'll open it up for discussion, comment from the commissioners.
Cut and dried.
Very much so. Not a lot of discussion on this one. So again, the city is changing, and along with that is our planned use of some of the land. So it's benefiting the owners who have requested it, the developers that wish to use it, and it's fitting the city's model for the citizens going forward. So if anybody else has anything to say, if not, motion.
Oracle move that the Plan Commission adopt Resolution 2018-01, amending the comprehensive plan and planned land use map to reflect the changes in land use from planned industrial to planned mixed use for the properties at 410 and 500 West Drexel. No change to the resource protection areas, following review and adoption by the Common Council.
Guzekowski.
Roll call.
Johnson, aye.
Grillo, aye.
Lorik, aye.
Gavich, aye.
Guzekowski, aye.
Raleigh.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler, aye.
Okay, thank you. Good luck. Item 6B, certified survey map. We're going to review a certified survey map submitted by Brian and Jenny Stromowski, dividing the properties at 1825 East Drexel to 2 residential building lots. Carrie.
There is an existing parcel with an existing single-family residential house on the property, and the proposal is divided into 2 conforming single-family residential lots. They would be conforming to the zoning district, which is RS1. There are no current plans for development. However, the single-family lot that would be divided off would potentially be for sale. The certified survey map that is on screen before you is showing the proposed division. There is an official street pattern along the north, which is missing from this map. However, the map will be updated to reflect that. It would also include the dedication of the future right-of-way as would be required. So that signature page for the Common Council would include a dedication of the roadway. There's also a small storage shed that's on the southern portion of Lot 2. It's been there for a while. It does cross the property line onto MMSD property. MMSD has submitted an email that it was in your packets, I believe, stating that they have no problems with the shed as if it were to remain. However, if it were to be destroyed, they would ask that it would not be built. However, city code does not allow buildings to cross property lines, so that does actually have to be removed. And staff has worked with the applicant, and the applicant has requested until spring to have that removed. Just, it makes sense to wait until then. Staff is fine with that. There is a small piece in your report that has comments from the water utility that's more of an FYI for when Lot 1 develops. And also, staff has made a caution in the report about creating single-family lots with direct access onto arterial and collector streets. It's something that has been recommended in the past, that we caution against creating more direct access points, more for safety purposes. If the CSM were to move forward, then there is a request for there to be a turnaround, a full turnaround on Lot 1, so that we don't have people who are backing out onto the street. If the Plan Commission is satisfied with the CSM as proposed and with the suggested changes, there is a suggested motion that the Plan Commission recommends to the Common Council that the certified survey map submitted by Brian and Jenny Stromowski for the property at 1825 East Drexel Avenue be approved, subject to conditions 1 through 3. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Carrie. Does the applicant wish to say anything before we start? Come on up, please.
Brian Stromowski. Okay,
Address, please.
pardon, address?
Yeah.
Current address?
Current address works.
8634 South Shepherd Avenue.
Great, thank you.
In regards to the three different requests by the Carrie, when I first found out about the shed being on not on my property, I said I was okay with tearing it down, but in the meantime, I've got a letter from the lawyers over at MMSD, and they're okay with me leaving it. So I'm pulling that request out. I'm asking that maybe we keep that on there until what happens, what they say, if it starts deteriorating. It's a very nice shed. It is 20-plus years old, but in very good shape. And if they're okay with it, I'd like to keep it. So number one, I know that the code says I can't, but I don't know. I'm trying to work my way through that. I hate to give up a perfectly good shed if they're okay with it. Secondly, the request for us to dedicate the existing easement to the city at this point is not something I really want to put on my survey map. They can do it when they have to do it, but I really don't want it on there for sake of resale value. I'm giving up a piece of property from easement to pretty much giving it away. So if that can be put on later on when things happen, or years when things can happen, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are on that exactly, but I prefer not to have it on. And then the third thing would be in regards to the access point. I think the access point, oh yeah, well, the turnaround's not a problem. There was a question about the water mains tying into the street also. I don't know if that came up with you, Carrie, at all. That might have been.
The water utility provided some information stating that water is available from across the street or on the diagonal piece crossing the road for Lot 1, and that the developer would need to obtain a street opening permit on Drexel to connect to the piece crossing the road. So that's something that you would have to work through with the utility.
And I spoke with my plumber about that, and he said that what could happen is we could just drill from underneath, go right underneath. There would be no opening of the road, according to him. We'd have to just dig a hole on each easement, as you can say, I guess. So we wouldn't have to open up the road there. Just the state, I guess. I think that's about it, really.
Okay. Questions, concerns
Yes,
from
I
commissioners?
have a question, because it sounds like some items have changed versus what we were starting with. Let's address one issue at a time. So, Carrie, is it acceptable to have the shed there?
No, it does not meet setbacks. we can't have structures that cross property lines, and that's a code requirement. The shed can be moved, but it cannot cross property lines.
So it's non-conforming right now, correct?
Right.
Sorry, Chauncey.
No, that's good. So is the applicant, what's the applicant's feedback considering it cannot be?
If it can, it can. What am I gonna do, right? I don't know if there's any way around it, obviously not.
What I heard, it can be moved. Is that correct?
It's on a slab and there's asphalt around it and everything. It's not,
Okay, and then the next item about the right-of-way. So I have another question for Carrie. So is that acceptable not to note that?
We typically have, for our official street map dedication, whenever there's something that comes up for development, and a CSM is development, we have a requirement for that future right-of-way to be dedicated to the city. There have been instances where it's been missed in the past, but trying to go back and fix that at a later date is, that would have to go through the engineering department to get easements and things like that. And Brian, perhaps you can talk to how that works better than I can, but typically whenever it comes up for development is when we actually have it finalized.
And then the final item about drilling holes on the easement, is that compliant?
If you're referring to the connection to the water, that's something that would be dealt with the water utility. It doesn't really affect the CSM at all. It was an FYI.
Okay, thank you both.
Anyone else?
Brian,
Brian, go ahead.
yeah, I think them are the three items that I had. I guess,
Oh, wrong
The other
Brian.
Brian. We got another Brian over here.
We got a Brian over
Commissioner
there.
Johnston.
Brian.
Carrie, we had talked about that property line moving to the west, the middle property line, so that the sanitary lateral was on the existing parcel or to go with the existing house for lot 2. Did that change get made?
I believe it did. Those comments were forwarded to the surveyor, so I believe that the dividing line did move further west.
right.
Okay. Just for a clarification too, for the Drexel Avenue right away, there's nothing planned in the 5-year plan for that road to be widened out through there. This really is for the future road that goes to the south, is officially mapped street pattern that comes to the south. This would be the turn lane that comes in there to bring that road around to the south.
So some down the road.
Sometime down the road.
Nothing in the 5-year plan.
Correct.
Here, I guess my question would be, I see you're reading there.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the map.
I guess with to address all of them, Brian, with the shed, if it doesn't make sense to move it, so I guess that doesn't look like that's going to be able to stay, would be my guess. In terms of the listing of the easement, I defer to Commissioner Johnson and Carrie. I mean, I don't have any heartburn over it one way or the other, so I defer to more of the experts. I guess my question would be on the comments regarding it. My concern would be, is that the house above, right across from the Korean church? Am I thinking the right spot, kind of at the top of the hill?
Yeah.
No, this is on the other side of that tree line. So it's more on the, next to the farmhouse.
Next to the farmhouse.
It's,
So,
yeah.
so I guess with splitting it, the concern is adding another driveway, Carrie, correct? I guess that would be my concern.
There is something in the comprehensive plan that mentions discouraging direct access onto arterial and collector streets, of which Drexel is. And the concern is for safety, for sight distances
Right.
and things like that. So if there's a turnaround on Lot 1, that would help to alleviate some of the concern.
And that's what we're looking at. Because I agree with that one. I think a driveway come out of that road's
Yeah.
cutting.
I'm okay with that.
So as long as you're okay with that, I think that would be my point of what has to stay.
Brad?
Question I have is, why are you dividing this property into 2 lots?
Actually, I'm gonna build a house on the lot for myself.
So you want to build on lot number 1 then?
Correct.
Thank
That's my plan right now.
Oh. Now what do you do with that property and lot 2? I mean,
Right now, I have somebody, it's rented out, and the renter, I have an agreement with him, is once I get this done, that he's gonna buy it. So I have it sold, basically. Yeah, the whole reason I bought the property is to build a house for ourselves, downsizing.
I get it.
Yeah.
So, I guess with some of the comments, in just terms of the suggested motion, is there anything that anyone else on the commission feels we need to alter?
I don't think so. I feel bad about the shed, but we really can't change.
Yeah, if it's not conforming.
not conforming,
Yeah.
so you do have to remove that.
But I do
Right,
feel
Brian?
for you.
And in terms of the dedication acceptance language, that's the easement piece, right?
That's the right of way.
Right.
And what that does, if you look on the, I guess the third page of the map, that red line, you can see where the right of way is on the south side down by Pennsylvania and Drexel, that corner. So this gets us to that ultimate right of way through that section for this piece.
Gotcha.
I have a question. Are all the other houses up the block then, east of me, are they all dedicated already?
No, they're not. They haven't gone through the CSM process. So if
Well,
they came
they were
through-
just all recently built. I mean,
You mean in the
them are all
you
newer.
mean in the subdivision?
No, across the street from the church are some newer houses. Is that, unless I don't understand how far you want this dedicated, is it from Pennsylvania all the way to the railroad tracks, or?
No, it's the 20 feet that's on your property. So the 20-foot width. So it would just be along the length of your property.
But that doesn't happen on any other properties.
Whenever it comes up for development, then it would. We would be doing the same
As soon
process
as they
with
try and
those.
change something, they're all gonna.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I was talking about, all the properties east of me then, which are some newer houses, there must be a easement all the way through there. Is that land dedicated already?
I don't know if there are some that have dedicated, not all of them. So where this red, I don't know, my cursor isn't showing up properly. There it is. This red line that goes across all of them, if any of those properties were to come up for development, we would be asking for the same thing.
All
And
the
it
way
looks
up
like there's
to-
at least 2 or 3 of them that have done that already.
I guess, yeah, I guess my biggest concern is that, in my mind, and maybe I'm wrong, it devalues my property. I'm basically, again, going from an easement to where I actually own it to a dedicated property, which gives you guys ownership, basically, right? The city, is that what that means?
Yes.
Yeah. And
That
in a lot of
changes-
cases where this happens, I mean, somewhere down the road, isn't there funds that the city has to come up with to pay for that at some point?
Typically, that's how that works, yes.
Right, so why would I want to give it up right now without any compensation? It just doesn't make any sense. Besides that, besides losing the compensation, I'm losing value in land, so I'm just not in agreement with it.
When you develop and create a new parcel, that is the procedure. That if the right of way needs to be there, there's officially a master street pattern, that's when we get that right of way.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna go back to an email that I got from Carrie, and in that email, the reason why it brought it to my attention was the fact that she was requesting that I dedicate the land to the city, and would you have a problem doing that? So I've thought to myself, well, that's kind of weird that she's asking that, if they really want to take it, they would take it, but now you're asking me very nicely, I appreciate that, but that's what drew the whole red flag here. And I just, for that reason, I feel that it's not really something I really want to do. So that's where I'll leave. I don't know where to leave it there.
Typically, it's always done on development, though. Correct?
So if I ask a question for understanding, so at the future, 5 years out, this road pattern was implemented, where the city doesn't own that, then they go out and purchase that.
Correct.
So if no one bought this and it's sat 5 years now, they'd be paying somebody for it. But if you want to do something up front, this is where the city takes advantage of that opportunity.
Exactly. And same thing, if you weren't creating this new CSM to split these lots, there wouldn't be an issue with the shed.
Right, right.
So in other words, for you to get what you, I get it. I'm not saying I agree or don't agree, but I get it.
Yeah.
Part of doing business. Okay. That's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, that's, kind of stinks.
Learn something new.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I got to say right now.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Further discussion?
Right, I think we can move forward with a motion
Okay,
and
all
Mr.
right.
Stromowski can decide what he needs to do.
Take a motion.
Corral moves that the commission recommends to the common council that the certified survey map submitted by Brian and Jenny Stromowski for the property at 1825 East Drexel Avenue be approved, subject to the following conditions. One, that the map is updated to reflect the dedication of future right-of-way along Drexel Avenue for both lots, and that the common council's signature page is updated with dedication and acceptance language. Two, that the storage shed and concrete pad on the south side of Lot 2 is removed by May 1st of 2018. Three, that all technical corrections, including but not limited to spelling errors, minor coordinate geometry corrections, and corrections required for compliance with the municipal code and Wisconsin statutes are made prior to recording.
Seifert seconds.
Mayor, one question on that,
Yes.
because I don't think we addressed it, is if that time frame worked for Mr. Stromowski or not, or if we had any heartburn on that time frame.
I have none whatsoever on it.
Yeah, I mean, I should be able to get it down by June. I mean, I think we kind of came up with that. I didn't really think about it, but June, June
If we
1st
ex-
maybe
if-
would
if
be
we
better.
Modified that date to July 1 or something.
Yeah, that would be
better?
nice because it might be rainy or something and make a month.
But if I can
Fine.
modify that motion to make it July 1st, is the seconds okay with that?
Thank you.
Okay, we have a corrected motion going to July 1, 2018 on removal of the shed. If that is understood and the second concurs, roll call.
Johnston, aye.
Lorick, aye.
Gavich, aye.
Guzekowski, aye.
Corral, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler, aye.
That is all we have on our agenda tonight, short of adjournment.
Carrillo moves to adjourn at 6:28.
Lorick seconds.
Roll call.
Johnston, aye.
Carrillo, aye.
Lorick, aye.
Gavich, aye.
Guzekowski, aye.
Corral, aye.
Seifert, aye.
Chandler, aye.
Great. Want to thank everybody out there that did take the time to tune in for this short little meeting. As always, I ask you to get out there, discover, and celebrate Oak Creek. Good night, everybody, and Happy New Year. Welcome to 2018.